Are you constantly dying in PvP, going in there with raid gear, can't stay alive, getting frustrated, trying to farm some moonstones? Well, this is the tutorial for you. Please note that this is not for people fresh out of story or just into the game. You do have to have your basic accessories and legendary gear to make this work. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the bare minimum gear you need not to be a hindrance to your team and to efficiently farm moonstones in 6v6. Keep in mind this is the starter gear only, and it's just to get you into it. Of course, you will do better as you proceed to invest in things like pets, better soul shields, better weapons, and so forth. Okay? So, the very first thing you need to do to start getting into PvP is to complete the 2 introductory quests they give you. So, the quests I'm talking about are Test Your Might Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1, as you can see here, it'll be in your quest letter log until you activate it. Requires 3 wins in the Tower of Infinity, which should be easy. You can do that with your regular raid gear. Requires 3 dual solo matches just to participate in, not to win. And 3 dual tag matches, which might be difficult to do depending on the time of day. Okay, you're going to get rewarded with an Unrefined Galaxy Weapon chest, which you can pitch immediately. We'll go over that later. And you will need a Battlegrounds Soulshield chest 1, 2, and 3. So that's your first 3 pieces of your Battlegrounds Soulshield. Your second quest, which will be Test Your Might 2, which is participate in 3 Whirlwind Valley matches and 3 matches. So, at that point, you're going to get piece 4 and 5 of your Soul Shield, 60 Galaxy Fragments, 3 Smelting Orbs, and 1000 BP. Okay, so you've completed your introductory quests. You've gotten your first 5 Soul Shields for free from there, as well as various PvP accessory upgrade materials. Okay, so your very first priority should be a full, halfway decent PvP Soul Shield set. Okay, I'm going to show you what I did with mine. So, I'm not horribly wonderfully equipped for PvP, but I can hold my own in there because I have a basic Soul Shield and a basic weapon. Let's talk about the Soul Shield first. These are the 5 pieces that you're going to get out of the free quests. These are the lowest level ones, the Whirlwind Valley Soul Shields. You can buy them if you need to. Why? When you get them for free, right? The 5 set effect is going to give you some decent PvP stats. Let's go ahead and equip it so you can see. Some decent PvP stats and a little bit of an increase to 1 skill. Okay, so what are you going to do with the remaining 3 Soul Shields? Well, you can run 3 MSP here, extra pieces that you might have. I'm running 3 Raven because my main character is up to VT8 now and doesn't need these anymore. Or you can even run Starstone Mines Soul Shields. Those actually give a 3-piece set bonus to PvP stats. It gives it to crit defense, it gives it to piercing, and it gives it to the other one. I can't forget at the moment. You can look it up on BnS tree. But it gives PvP stats. So that's a good one to get 6, 7, and 8 for. Just go farm Starstone Mines a few times until they drop. They drop like candy. You shouldn't have any problem. Okay. Once you get them, spend 8 Artisinal Shield Primers. Shouldn't cost you more than 60 gold. Okay. And infuse them all with piercing. You can grab them right off Dragon Express here and scroll down and grab the Artisinal Piercing Soul Shield Primer. All right. Don't worry about maxing out the stats. Just infuse piercing on 8 of them. So that will give you a nice balance group of stats. As you can see here, it gives me 30 defense piercing, where before I infused all this, it only had like 7% or so. It gives you a decent amount of crit defense. 15% is not great, but it's better than nothing. And possibly some block depending on your class, things like that. But those are the 2 big ones you're going to want to be looking for. This Soul Shield will help keep you alive until you can get a better one. Either 8-piece Ivory Beluga or 5-piece Nova Core, both of which have achievement requirements, 1 win for the 5 set and 10 wins for the full 8-piece respectively. Okay, shouldn't cost you much. We're talking 60 gold here. Everybody's got 60 gold they can throw at a Soul Shield. Okay. Secondly, your weapon. What you're going to be aiming for in the weapon is you're going to be aiming for Ascendant 3 to start with. Galaxy is completely overshadowed now. Don't bother trying to PvP with a Galaxy weapon. Just use your raid weapon until you get Ascendant 3. As long as you have the Soul Shield, you'll stay alive a little bit. Don't worry too much about that. Okay. So, Ascendant weapon. How do we get it? Well, you're going to start off by throwing away that Unrefined Galaxy weapon you get because you don't need it anymore. You can go over here to any Battleground trader and you can buy the Galaxy Weapon Chest Stage 1 for 5 Naryu Silver. Keep buying these until you unlock 6 gem slots. It took me like 13 or so. But if you're doing any kind of dungeons or raids by now, you have a ton of Naryu Silver that you have no use for. If you need to, you can turn Naryu coins into Naryu Silver at 20 to 1. Okay? Not a huge deal. Get that, get your 6 sockets. Okay, what are we going to do then? Well, you're going to go ahead and advance them up. See, from the most recent patch at 2.7, they drastically reduced the cost we need to go Galaxy to Ascendant. It's incredibly cheap now. So we're going to start here at Galaxy 1, and we're going to go up to Ascendant 3, and we're going to see what the cost is here. Okay, so you can see you only need 25 Elysians to go all the way up to Ascendant 3, 90 Sacred Crystals, 1 Ivory Beluga Orb, which you can either pick up from old daily dashes or something. It'll be on F10 occasionally, or it costs like 1500 BP. You can get that in like 3 matches. Okay, 96 Galaxy Fragments, but you're getting 60 for free from that free quest. 66 Legendary Elements, and at the end I'll go over how to get those much cheaper than Legendary Jewels. 2 Empyrian Spirit Stones, that's going to cost you some money, or you'll have to craft them yourself. I think Empyrian Spirit Stones, last I checked, were going for like 300 gold, so that's like a 600 gold investment. 5 Transformation Stones, that's like 50 gold. 20 Ascendant Stones, if you've been playing for any length of time, you'll have just piles of these from the daily dashes. It's been on the board for forever. And this is the big one, 31 Smelting Orbs. You're going to get only 3 from your free quest, so that's what you're going to be dumping your battle points into until you get it, right? So, how do we get all these battle points to get all these accessory upgrade materials? So, the biggest thing is buying these Smelting Orbs and buying the rest of your Galaxy Fragments are going to run you 250 and 750 respectively. If you consider that you need another 28 Smelting Orbs and another 36 Galaxy Fragments, that's 30,000 BP. That sounds like a hell of a lot. It's really not. If you run during the Battle Frenzy, that runs every day from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time, might be different for your time zone on the server. It's a vast increase to the amount of battle points you get. Even on a loss, I'm often seeing 400 BP for a loss. So even if you go in, you feed a little bit, so what? You're trying to improve. That's the important thing. And you can come out of there with 1,500 to 2,000 an hour. So you're looking at, 15 to 20 hours max to farm this weapon up. Spread it out over 2 weeks, that's like an hour or 2 a day. It really doesn't take that much to get there. And you're not expecting to do this overnight. You'll farm more than that just to go up 1 stage on your Raven weapon, right? So it's not that big of a time investment. And the best part is you're getting experience, you're getting battle points, you're completing achievements the entire time. So it's definitely worth it, all right? It's not really all that much when you're talking Blade and Soul terms, really. All right. Smelting Orbs especially also come up fairly frequently in F10, so if you got some extra Hong Moon coins or even End coins laying around, might be a good purchase to cut off some of that grinding. Okay. Legendary Elements. Let's talk about them for a second. So, a cheap way to get Legendary Elements is going to go to Kandia Vihar, right? Go to the Shrine of the Ascendant. Okay. The biggest stopping point in getting Legendary Elements is no one wants to spend a bunch of Sacred Crystals and Soul Stones on each Legendary Element. Those things are hard to come by, especially for farming. You need them for other upgrades. You really don't want to spend them on elements. But what they left in the game, as soon as we load in here, is a way to break down and get element powder incredibly cheaply. So we'll go ahead and load in here. Loading screen not taking too awful long today. Must not be a lot of people sitting in Kandia Vihar. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Feel free to leave it in the comments if I'm not. Okay, and we're going to go over here to the Weapon Merchant. Nobody ever goes to this guy because he usually doesn't have anything you need. Gang Linam. You open it up, and you see this Orichalcum Bangle. It'll be a weapon of whatever weapon type you have, okay? Buy one for 4 silver, 95 copper. We'll go ahead and buy one here and show you. All right? Then, you're just going to salvage it. And when you salvage it, you see I got 3 element powder. You will always get a minimum of 3 and usually 4 element powder for breaking this down. Okay? So 3 bangles or 3 orichalcum, whatever, that's an element. You're not spending much, okay? So you break all that down. It costs you about 60 silver to get enough element powder to do 5 elements for your legendary element, okay? And then 25 soulstone crystals to do the transmutation, which can be found down here. So you're going to transmute into the element package. Costs 15 soulstone crystals, 30 fusion powder. If you don't have piles of fusion powder, run any dungeons, break down any soul shields that drop. A good one is to run Mushin's Tower, floor 13 to 15. You get soul shields by the pound there. Just break them down. This is nothing. Okay? And then 1 gold, 50 cents. So it's 50 silver per element that you craft. All right? Craft your 5 elements, buy them that way. Yes, it's more expensive than the old 20 gold, but it's nowhere near as expensive as trying to get jewel powder and breaking those down. So use that, get your elements fairly cheap. All in all, it should cost you less than 1,000 gold, much less if you can craft your own Empyrian Spirit Stones, to go from Galaxy 1 to Ascendant 3. And that right there, that is all I use to not be a liability to my team. I'm no PvP expert, right? I've got about a 50% win rate in 6v6. I hover between bronze and silver. But I'm gaining usually 2,000 to 3,000, now that I've got a 50% win rate, Battleground points an hour. And that's 2 to 3 chests full of these moonstones, which I'm using to either sell to get gold or using themselves to upgrade my other equipment or to do crafts. So it's an investment, short term, to get a much larger return. Each one of those Battleground chests gives 5 to 7 moonstones, so it's a minimum of 25 gold per chest, plus the soul stones you're going to be getting on top of it. So each hour, if I'm getting 2 chests at a minimum, that's 50 gold an hour. Outside of your daily quest, you're not going to find that kind of farm anywhere else. So this is a worthwhile investment to get into. At any rate, I hope this helps. It's the very, very most basic gear you will need to get into this. Absolute minimum basic, okay? Upgrade it higher if you want to get into higher level things. If you want to see a video on how to actually improve your PvP skills, what you need to upgrade and in what order, let me know. I'll go over things like pets. I'll go over things like the higher level soul shields, what you should fuse, what you should be looking for in order to efficiently max it. But if all you're looking for is to grind moonstones and to just do decently, this is all you need. So that's Moonfire Art out. Be sure to visit my my clanmates Karopi and Evil Do Us Harm. Their links are in my featured channels down below the screen. Description of this video will also be down there, and links to those channels. Have a good day. Go check them out. They have great content in Blade and Soul, and I will see you later.